Hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to another session of Heart Talk with Adelai Brown. This is a session for us to come together. Men and women from all over the world come together so that we can grow heart equity, which we define as personal, relational, and financial wealth that we obtain through authentic living. We grow heart equity and we have heart talk so that we can continue to show up and do the work that God has created us to do. I'm really excited about tonight because tonight is our final heart- tonight is our final heart talk for 2025. I'm really excited about that because we made it through. We made it to the end, as my grandma would say. We made it through. We are here. We've done the work. We've shown up. We have the t-shirt, we have the cup to show that we made it through 2025 prayerfully. We have about 7.5 more days, I guess, 8 days left in the year. And I'm just really thankful. So, just to let everybody know, tonight will be our last Heart Talk of the year. We will come back on January the 6th. So, we're just going to take off next week. Um, but I'm just really excited about getting some rest, just taking some time to reflect and some time to just spend time with God, take care of myself, sit with my family, just do the things that I love to do and the things that charge me up. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing, right? Sometimes we can get so caught up and stuck to a routine that we miss the rest, right? Sometimes we're so caught up in the work that we miss the rest. I remember learning long ago that rest is not complete unless, I mean, work is not complete unless you get rest. So it's very important for us to say, hey, I'm going to rest. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do what I need to do. And that's why we're taking next week off. We're not going to have prayer. We're not going to have heart talk. We'll just resume in the new year and just take that time to have heart talk and pray, but on our own schedules, on our own time. So just wanted to get that out there and let you guys know that. So we'll be back next year with everything. Podcasts, heart talk, prayer, and I know God is doing just so many more amazing things. And I'm just excited to see how everything unfolds for all of us, right? Because we all doing life together. And it's really important for us to remember that you're not alone. You are not by yourself. Um, Sometimes life may be hard. Sometimes it may feel difficult. Sometimes when you go through things, you do feel alone. You feel like you're the only one who feels this way or experiencing this. But when you share, that's why I truly believe the Bible tells us that we overcome by our testimony, because I believe that when you share and or just really open yourself up to listen, you will find that there's somebody that already made it out of the storm that you're going into or may currently be in. And that's another reason why we do Heart Talk, because it's really about processing. It's really about getting clear, being more aware, being more self-aware, and then seeing how that awareness plays out in your relationships, in your life's work, right? Your relationship with your purpose, your relationship with your loved ones. Um, and so tonight, there's an image that I want to share. Let me just jump right to it. So there's this image, and I'm sharing the screen. I hope that y'all can see this screen. Um, but I'm sharing this screen because this is what came to me. I really struggle with I guess the word would be perfectionism, right? I struggle with not feeling like what I have done is enough. Over the years, people would say, "You're doing so good, you're so successful, or you've done so many wonderful things." And I would hear that and I would thank them, but deep down inside, I would feel like, yeah, but it's not enough. And to some people, that could seem like it could come across different ways to different people. But this year, I feel like I really got more clarity and I got breakthrough in what it really means to let go, right? What it means to really let go, to really release, to really be open to what God is doing and how God wants to work things out in your life and for you and for those that are connected to you. And for me, I had to really see that sometimes the best outcome comes around not because I have all the right answers, but it is because I don't have any answers and I'm not trying to create answers. And I am just going to sit back and watch the show like everybody else and let God be God. And for years in my life, I could not do that. I tried. I would surrender something and just pick it right back up. It's like giving something to somebody and asking them for help. And as soon as you give it to them, you walk back over and you pick it back up and you ask for help. So I saw this image and I was preparing for Heart Talk. I wanted to show this because I feel like this is what I want us to keep in mind as we go into 2026. I want you to think about what are you possibly holding on to that is doing so much more damage than you actually letting go. I want you to think about that. It could be a thought process, it could be a mindset, it could be a job, it could be a address, it could be a relationship, it could be a food, eating habits, it could be all kind of things. But what who or what might you be holding on to that is doing more damage to you, for you, through you that you need to let go of? It could be a belief. You might be believing something about yourself, about the world, about God, about people around you that's just not serving you in this season. And I wanted to talk about that because that is one of the reasons why I had the courage to take next week off. It's one of the reasons why I am open to not having to have a plan and have a goal. I have intentions for next year, but it is so different because I really realize how God is really doing a new thing in my life and is not coming out of anything else other than me being willing to let it go. And I know some people might see this and you might hear this and you might think, well, everything I'm holding on to has purpose. It may have purpose, but is it yours? Is that your burden to bear? Were you supposed to be holding on to this or carrying this or bearing that load? It could be an expectation, but it's doing you more damage by holding on to it. And it's time for you to let it go. It's time for you to say, Lord, I trust you. Lord, I believe you. Whatever, however it works out, but I am willing to look forward to brighter days, to better days, to brighter lights. I am willing to come out of this darkness into the marvelous light, but I realize in order for that to happen, I got to let this go. If you've been believing you're not good enough, if you've been believing you can't do it, or you don't have enough money for it, or you don't have enough whatever, you got to let that go. If you've been in a toxic situation and it's just not serving you, you got to let that go. If you've had an expectation of someone or something and it's upsetting you because that expectation just keeps not being met, it's time to let that go and maybe reevaluate, reassess that situation. But as we close out 2025 and go into 2026, I just want you to think about what are you possibly holding on to that you need to let go of and not allow it to damage or hurt or injure you anymore in 2026. So I wanted to share that and we'll come back to that um, later on. And I don't plan on being on too long tonight. We'll see how it goes. But I also want to read some scriptures about letting go because I believe that if we're going to talk about letting go, then we need to also talk about some resources and being able to do that because I know how hard it is. For years, I have struggled with letting go. For years, I have struggled with being so hard on myself, so critical of myself. So when I am being like that with myself, then of course I'll be like that with others as well. And it doesn't feel good. Sometimes I'm not. open in areas that I know um being open is that's the way God wants me to go. But if I'm struggling with carrying burdens that aren't mine, it's like going in a grocery store and you don't have a buggy because you just came to pick up one or two things. And you walk in the grocery store and you see somebody else and they need help, and you go and carry all of their things. Now you helping them around the store carrying all of their things, but now you don't have any space to carry your own. And I feel like that's what a lot of us have done in some way, shape, or form. We have taken on the stress, the worry, the care, the concerns of others, and we focus our attention on situations and circumstances that don't serve us, those burdens in that picture that are hurting us. And I don't know about everybody else, but I know for me, this season is really about not doing that anymore. I could go back to 20, I can let you listen to Heart Talks from 2016, 2017 about me talking about surrender, me talking about letting go, me talking about trusting God with the process. But I had to talk my way through it. I've had to live it. I've had to go through some situations and circumstances in my life that have not only broken me, but they have reformed me. They have shifted me. Like I thought that I needed to make enough money to be able to trust God or believe God. No, I have gone through some of the toughest times, some of the worst times, some of the most uncertain times that I've ever had. But I'm coming out of it like this year, especially, but I'm coming out of it with a gratitude and a thankfulness because the fire burned off things that I didn't need to take with me. I've been worried about things I don't need to worry about. I've been angry at people. I've been angry because of expectations that weren't met. I've been prideful. I have been just not kind to myself. And so the Lord took this year and really, like, it's like I had to go through this fire, and going through this fire is like He burned off a lot of the things that would cause me to be like that. And so when I talk about letting go, this is a real thing. I just had a conversation with somebody very dear to me, and we talked about this, and they were just saying they noticed a shift just in my demeanor, my attitude, just my energy. And I said, I know because I finally have let it go. I said it before, but as soon as I said I let it go, I picked it right back up. But this time I've let it go. I am trusting God. And every time I feel like I'm about to pick it back up, I'm like, Lord, no, I literally wrote in my journal today. I literally feel like I've been living my life with blinders on. I've never been this honest with myself. I've never shown up like this before, and it's been like some of the toughest times ever. But one thing I'm learning through this tough time is I like me. If I like me through the tough time, I know I'll be all right in the good times. But it's all about embracing the process and understanding. Like I remember one time, I've told this story before. If anybody who's been around for a while, you've heard it. But I remember my oldest son, he just turned 20, but he was about 9. And we were making a pineapple upside down cake for Thanksgiving. It was holiday time, and he wanted to make the cake, and he we were getting all the ingredients together. And when he got to the eggs, because he does not eat eggs, and when he got to the eggs, he was like, "Mm-mm, I don't want to put eggs in here. I don't like eggs. I don't want to put eggs in this cake. I like the cake, but I don't like eggs." I said, "Well, I'll tell you this. This cake needs eggs for the recipe. Like if you want this cake to taste how you want it to, you want to put some eggs in there, right?" And I know for all you vegan bakers, you probably know some other way, but haven't gotten there yet. But anyways, um, so I talked with him about that, and I said, sometimes in life you have to have the ingredients that you don't like or things that you don't care for. But when they mix with the things that do, sometimes you have two or three things together that you would never eat alone and it wouldn't make sense to you. But when you use those things together and then you apply heat to it, it creates something delightful, something delectable that you would want to eat. And that's how I really believe life is. And I am thankful to be in this space to feel it, to experience it, to not be completely, you know, there's still things I'm working on. There's still grievances I'm working through. However, I'm thankful for where I've made it in this year. I didn't think I would make it here. I didn't know what was going to happen. I stopped worrying about that and I put more energy into trusting God and believing and knowing it's working out for me. It's working out for my good. All things are working out for my good. Thinking about the good things. How will it look when it works out? How will it feel when it works out? Who can I help when it works out? Keeping my mind fixed on those things, like Philippians chapter 4 starts to, tells us about. So we really want to be careful about not holding on to things and overdoing it. I remember one time, I was learning about vegetables, and you learn about something being overripe. Like it can be pretty, but if it grows too long, it's nasty. It doesn't even taste good. It doesn't have the flavor. So some things you need to let go of. You need to let it not be overripe. Don't hold on to it too long. Like some things need to be let go. Some people need to be let go. Some ideas need to be let go. And there are some things that we need to take up. There are other things that we need to pick up in the place of letting these things go. Right? So, do we have any comments or questions? Anything you want to share to anybody that's live in our room, or if you're on our YouTube streets, just checking in with everybody? Okay, just making sure. So, with that being said, oh, okay, let me take you off, and then let me take you off. Oh, you should be off mute. Okay.
I really love what you said, and especially around this holiday season. And the reality is that for me, what you said, it's not just about me not trying to take control or to fix things or to do things, but it's also that harms the other person. Because the reason why I know what I know is because I was able to freely do what I did and discover that that either didn't work or it did or whatever. Because
Mhm.
as mothers, especially, it makes it really hard to balance that trying to teach your children versus doing everything for them, because then they get a skewed view of what life is if they've never
Yes.
had to struggle and learn something. So it's actually a disservice for them because they don't get to. It would be kind of like if your kid from a kid, you never let your kid learn how to walk because you didn't want him
Yes.
to fall, so you just
Yes.
carried them around, and so they never learned to walk. So you got
Yes.
some 20 or 30-year old that you're toting around in a shopping cart because they never learned to walk because you wouldn't let them try and fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that really hit me. And I this is what I really wanted to say. I'm old. I forgot.
You are
This,
not old. Stop saying that.
I like being old.
Yeah, you're okay.
There is an
Okay.
alternative.
Good.
It's
Good. You're
called
right.
death.
You're
Okay,
right.
I
You're
like
right.
being old.
If old is a good word for you, it's good for me too. Okay.
You
I
see what
got
I'm
you.
saying? Uh-oh. Dang. Okay. It has now escaped my notice.
I'm sorry. It'll come back. You were getting ready to say, I'm old. And it was something else you were getting ready to
I
say.
know. And it's just oh, I just and then I'm going to really get off.
You're
Okay.
good. You're good.
Okay. The thing is, this happens all the time. This isn't something you're going through now and you're going to get it and you're going to have arrived. This kind of thing goes on my entire life because it's about balance. And the way you balance is you go a little too far this way, a little too far that way, and you gradually, like a clock pendulum swinger.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and so it keeps going because that's how you learn. You get out of whack a little too far and you think, ooh, I don't like this, and then you go over the other way a little too far, and so my whole life is like that. And that threw me because I thought when I got to a certain point, I was going to have arrived and have all the knowledge. It's kind of like wanting things or thinking that this is what you want. did we talk about this before? And suddenly working real hard to get someplace and then getting there and realize you don't want it no more.
No, never.
Okay.
No.
I
Yeah.
guess that's why this is an adventure.
Yes. Yes. Like my
Right.
grandma said, it's a journey, child, a
Yeah.
journey. And I thank you so much for that. Thank you for sharing. You know, I always love your insight and I always love just your perspective and just how you bring things. And that's what I love about Heart Talk too, because you get to hear that and be reminded. And as you were talking, I feel like that's the letting go that was hurting me that I needed to let go of, just not being willing to embrace this as the journey that it is. When I remember about, it was December the 8th, so I was 2 weeks ago, I guess, and I was driving to Orangeburg, and I just remember just having that revelation of just the way I had to steer on the highway. And I think I talked about this on Heart Talk. It's just subtle, this way, that way. But that's how you get there. It's not this all the time and this all the time, and you just stay that way. No, you just kind of hole in the road, and then you get to where you're going. It's never just straight. You never just hold the wheel. You kind of turn with the road and you kind of go with the process. And it's like, and so another thing that I looked up was this whole process of trees, right? So you alluded to another thing that I really wanted to kind of touch on when I talk about letting go is the fact that when you said that it's not just a one-time thing and you don't arrive. The trees lose their leaves every year. But what I realize now is we do them a bad disservice when we pull up the leaves and all of that. We don't want to see the leaves, but there's a process in the leaves falling. There's a purpose for the fall. There's a purpose for trees to rest so that they can be strong through the more extreme times of year. There's a reason why the leaves are on the ground to protect the trees, to protect the delicate foliage that would get frozen if the leaves didn't cover them up through the wintertime. It's just so much necessary in the letting go. Nature lets go all the time. And then there's another purpose in the letting go. Like you said, as a parent, when you let go, now you're giving your child the gift of responsibility and discipline and growth and learning, which is something that as a parent will absolutely come back and benefit you if you raise a responsible young adult, right? Young human being. And so when I looked up the whole purpose of the trees, and it's like the leaves have to fall. The trees are preserving themselves. The leaves even have a purpose around the trees on the ground and the grass, that the ground that's nourishing those trees to be there. And I just had a conversation. Um, when I go to Atlanta and I stay at my best friend's house, her house, I've never seen that many leaves fall on the ground in my life. But it is like living in a forest. It's even more of a forest. My neighborhood is called Sherwood Forest. So it's a lot of trees. But the trees, the leaves, they're pretty, but it's a lot of leaves. And it hit me. I was like, these leaves have a purpose. And then when trees just randomly fall for no reason, or they get sick, or things like that, you thought nothing of the leaves that fell. But even those had a purpose. So even the things that we're letting go, it's a reason it's time to let go. It's a reason it's time to let go in this season. It's a reason it's time to teach this child this thing or this chore or this activity, so this is something they can carry into adulthood. This is the time for me to say I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to make this appointment. I'm going to get this trainer. I'm a I'm gonna learn this new recipe so that I can enjoy a healthier meal. That's all about letting go. It's just letting go of whatever doesn't serve us, and being willing to cast your cares. And that's the thing I really want us to go into the new year with. When I looked at there's a scripture that I want to read. It's First Peter 5:7. It says, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. For Psalms 55:22 says, cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. And I those two is like a long list of them, but for those particular um passages that I was just reading just now, I looked up the Hebrew word for cast, and it talked about um let me pull it up real quick. So it talked about the Hebrew word for cast, and it is shalak. And it makes me think about like a shellacking, like when you just like tear something up or just, wear something out or whatever, right? And it talks about to shellac or shellac is to throw, cast, hurl, or fling, right? Um, and so when it says cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you, I got this image of just throwing things like, God, here, have this, have that. I can't carry this no more. Like, you can have it, you can do it because it said cast it. It said hurl it. It's like throwing something into a dumpster. It's like I don't have to carry this no more. This is not my burden to bear no more. And that's the image I want you to have. I know some of us, when you hear the term rest, you think rest is for the weak. You think I'll rest when I die. I gotta get this bag. I gotta make this money. I got too much going on. I can't rest. But I believe that if you have the faith to rest, God is going to bless you in this season. If you have the faith to cast your cares and your anxieties on him and have faith to believe that he cares for you. Listen, God cares for you in places your mama didn't care, your daddy didn't care. God cares for you in places you didn't care. God made up things for you that you didn't make up for yourself. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. You can rest in that. You can trust in that. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. We too busy trying to figure out the GPS ourselves. We trying to charge up our phones. We trying to get a map. We trying to do all the things that make our path straight. We trying to make friends with people along the way, get a backup, make sure we got AAA, all the things when our most dependable GPS is the Holy Spirit. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. I've talked about rest before. I've rested before, but I've never rested from this perspective. My heart has been softened in a way that I've never had. I don't feel like God is having to, I don't feel like my back is up against the wall. I don't have no choice but to trust him. It's like he has protected me and he has kept me. And just as much as I'm telling y'all this is the last hard talk because we're gonna take the week off because we're gonna rest. We're gonna rest by faith. We're gonna rest because we know that God has us. We're gonna show the Lord that 1 Peter 5, 6 and 7 says, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Allow God to show you how much He cares for you. If you really believe, trust Him to provide even while you're resting. Trust Him to care for you like that. Because I promise you, He has that for us. I'm believing that for you. I'm trusting God for you. I'm trusting God with you. I'm standing in faith with you because I believe you deserve it. I know I deserve it. We have gone through a lot and we have made it to this point. And no, you don't need to give up. But if you feel weary, it's because you need to rest. And you probably are. Let me go back to this image because we get ready to close out. You probably are needing to be reminded that sometimes holding on does more damage than letting go. We just read the scripture. It said, cast your cares upon the Lord because he cares for you. Cast your burden on the Lord. Hurl it, throw it, get rid of it at all costs. Because this is what the Lord wants from us. This is, I truly believe, if you have the faith to rest in Him and trust in Him, you watch how He works it out for you. Okay? So do we have any comments or questions? Anybody want to share any comments on YouTube? Any comments live in our Heart Talk room? For those of you that ever want to get in the Heart Talk room and converse with us, make comments and share where we can hear your voice and see your face. You're more than welcome to do that. You go to the website, adelaibrown.com. You can sign up and get on the list so that you can get notifications and get the Zoom information. But I'm just really thankful and honored to be here with you. And I just want to encourage you to let it go, especially if you're in a circumstance and situation where you really can't do anything anyway. It really does you or anyone around you no justice to worry about it and stress about it. Set your intention, do what you can, and then go sit down someplace and rest. Okay? So I love y'all. And just remember, I'm gonna read this scripture, and this is what we're gonna close out 2025 on, and this is what I want us to start 2026 on. First Peter 5 and 7, casting all your cares on him because he cares for you. All your anxieties, all your fears, all your worries, all your offenses. You've been offended, give it to him. He can do it. Psalm 55 and 22 says, cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. And then Philippians 4 and 6 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in prayer, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Do that and believe by faith he's going to work it out. And however he works it out, even if it's bad, it'll probably be better than what you asked for. But have faith that it'll happen. Your belief is an investment into your future. You cannot stay so focused on what's right in front of you. You got to focus on what's ahead and what you want it to be. And some people don't like that. They want to hand it to them, but that's just not how it works. The Bible tells us, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think highly of yourself, you will live a more highly experienced life. And if you're tired and you don't rest well, then you're never going to get that experience. So by faith, let's rest. Let's rest in the Lord. Hmm. Psalm 127 and 2 says, it is vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives his beloved sleep. And that is Psalm 127 and 2. So I think with that being said, do we have any closing remarks, any closing words? Just checking here. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Shout out to our Heart Tribe here in our Heart Talk room. Thank you for being on here with me. Thank you for the support and the insight and the conversation. You know, I love you very much. And I love y'all. This is our year. 2025 has been our year, and 2026 is going to continue that process. It's just going to get better and better. Um, we will embrace this journey more and more, and it will benefit us more and more the more we can embrace it. So I love y'all. Remember, we will not have Heart Talk next week. We will not have our prayer call next week. We will resume Heart Talk on January the 6th, 2026. 1/6, 2026. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I love y'all very much. That is my gift to you, the gift of let's rest together. I think that's the best gift we can have. All right. I love y'all. Remember, when you heal your heart, you transform your life and you transform the world. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, signing out.